Hi, I'm Jocelyn. Welcome to Fast Easy Vegan. Today we're going to make enchiladas. Now, they're a little bit extra work. This is not like your really quick, speedy meal. But it is in Fast Easy Vegan, and it's on page 423. So if you want to follow along that way, let's get rolling. So I've been softening tortillas, and I'll show you how that goes. Some people, you can put them in tin foil and let them roast in the oven or just heat and soften that way. I like the char. So, and I have a gas stove, obviously, so I can get it this way. And it takes just a couple minutes. Now, I've already done 9. We need 12 tortillas for this recipe. So these are the last 3 I'm doing. And you want them to get puffy and cooked. There we go. That's looking good. I'm going to put them in our tortilla warming bucket and let them sit. Okay, so that's done. Now we want to get the rest of the recipes prepared. First of all, we need a pan to cook the innards in. So get your steep-sided frying pan out. Then what we want for the inside of the enchiladas, we want 2 zucchini, 1 onion, 1 carrot, 1 red bell pepper, 2 cans of black beans, drained, not rinsed, 1 can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes or petite dice or whatever you like. 2 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of chipotle or to taste, and a half a teaspoon of powdered cumin, salt to taste as always. All right, so what we want to do now with the carrot and all the innard stuff is cut it into pretty small dice. So let's start with the onion. So this is how I peel an onion. I know it's not traditional, but it works for me and I like it this way. It's comfortable. Okay. So let's dice up this monster onion. And get that cooking while we're dicing everything else up. And as I said a minute ago, you want a fairly small dice on stuff here. So this is a recipe that kind of takes a lot of time because of the prep involved. Okay, let's turn on that stove, sorry, not the oven, not yet. Although the onion, listen to me, the oven, we want to be at like 300, 325, something like that. Because when we put the enchiladas in the oven, everything will be cooked. It just needs heating through and getting those tomatoes hot and everything. Okay. All right, let's get this onion into the pan. And this is how you chop a longer vegetable. You section it. And that way it becomes manageable. And if we want to do small dice, well, it's got to be manageable, right? Sometimes it's a little hard to cut all the way down, but do your best. So we're sauteing and sauteing. I've got the carrots and the onions pretty much done. They've cooked while I've been chopping. So I just have this one little bit more of zucchini to dice up. And as you can see, the bell pepper's diced. And these are only going to take a couple minutes to cook. I think the onions and the carrots, I was probably cooking those for 10 minutes while I was chopping here. So let's get this put into our pan so the quick stuff can cook. Oh, that's a lot of zucchini. Okay, this will cook down a little bit and certainly release water, but I'm going to keep my ear on that because I'll hear it if it starts burning. We've got our trusty little water pitcher if we need it. But I doubt we will. For those of you who use salt, throw some in now. It will help that stuff release the liquids, cook faster. That's really attractive, isn't it? Okay, 2 cloves of garlic. Let's mince these guys up, these little guys. Okay, I call that minced. What about you? Okay, so now we have the vegetables in. And I want to cook these a little bit just to know that they're doing what they're supposed to do, which is to get soft. But I can add the ½ teaspoon of cumin powder and the teaspoon of chipotle powder, or to taste. And if you don't like the spice, use something mild like ancho powder or my brain isn't working right now, but there are dozens of mild chili powders where you'll get the flavor without the heat, so it's not going to make you feel like your throat is on fire. I like heat, so, and I like the smokiness of chipotle in particular. Chipotle, for those of you who might not know, are just roasted jalapenos. And it's that roasty part that gives it that smoky heat. Ooh, huge fan of that. Okay, there's 3 things we have to add to this before we start rolling things up. 2 cans of black beans, drained, not rinsed. Come on. There we go. And a can of diced tomatoes, juice and all. There. Now that's looking pretty good. Oh, that's looking really good if you ask me. I'm guessing there's going to be leftover stuffing here. I've prepared 12 tortillas per the recipe. So we'll see how much we can stuff into those tortillas. I'm going to let this cook a little bit more until the zucchini is clearly cooked and the water has evaporated a little bit. Then we'll get to the next part. I'm going to turn on my oven now so that it's hot when we're stuffing our enchiladas. And as soon as this here is reasonably dry and the zucchini's cooked, we're ready to roll. I'll see you then. All right, we're getting ready here to stuff our tortillas, make our enchiladas, and pop them in the oven. So there are a couple things I haven't talked about. One of them being that part of this recipe is topped with our cheddar-y cheesy sauce here. So I made a batch of that. I actually made it yesterday. And it's optional, you don't have to put it on the top, but it's really nice. So I urge you to take the extra time to make your cheddar-y cheesy sauce. Recipe's in the book. Or it's on YouTube also. Just my public YouTube videos. There's a video of that. The other thing is now when I was doing this recipe, I was building it for a 30-minute meal. Now the way we're doing it today, it's much longer than a 30-minute meal because we're going to bake it. So what I was doing before, cooking the insides, rolling them up into a prepared tortilla, putting them on the plate with a dollop of cheese sauce. Well, I want to do a little more traditional and actually something that's more, I don't know, more comfort food-like. So we've got our tortillas in our little plastic tortilla container. And the other thing is pretty much all my recipes are written for 4 people. So there's just 2 of us in this household, so I'm going to cut the recipe in half. In other words, I'm only going to use 6 tortillas instead of 12. So we'll have 6 enchiladas, and the rest of this stuff, the insides, I can freeze it or save it for a different meal altogether, do something entirely different with it. So we're going to stuff now, stuff and roll up our tortillas. So with just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Oh wait, this isn't medicine, this is dinner. So it's barely holding, but I'm going to roll it seam side down. And we don't have to worry about these sticking to the pan because as it cooks, it's releasing juice. And it's also pretty juicy. I don't know if you can see that. So this is kind of like a taco, except that it's more so. Okay. So I picked this pan because, wow, it's the perfect width for these tortillas, right? Groovy. All right. There's going to be a lot of filling left over, and that's okay. Ouch. Burning my little finger. All right. Final enchilada. He's so good. Okay, so now look how nice and orderly that is, all lined up in our pan. Instead of just the cheese sauce, I'm going to put on some salsa because it just looks more festive. It makes it juicier too, though this, I have to say, this is pretty juicy. I like pace. My husband does too. It's not too spicy. You get the medium. You can also get mild if you want, or hot. We like the medium. It's just good, and it's compliant. There's not one drop of oil in here, and it's just good ingredients. Okay, so with our cheese sauce, hey, that looks really nice, doesn't it? There you go. That's our dinner. You don't need to watch me plate it up. I'm just going to pop this in the oven for about a half an hour, and then we're good to go. And that's our dinner, that with a salad. And if you really want, you can have some rice with it if you want to have more starch than just the tortillas. Either way, it's all good. So bon appetit. Enjoy your enchiladas. I know your family will. And we'll cook together soon.